In 2022, an underwater volcano in Tonga exploded with a force of 90 megatons. The shockwave circled the planet twice. It was heard in Alaska, over 9,000 kilometers away. And on March 24th, 2026, the same region moved again. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck the Tonga archipelago. Sirens activated across the islands. Residents were told to move immediately to higher ground. At that moment, everything suggested one thing: a tsunami was coming, but it never did. And that's what makes this event so important. The reason it did not happen reveals something much bigger about what is happening beneath the Pacific Ocean. The Hunga Tonga, about 65 kilometers north of Tonga's main island, hidden entirely beneath the ocean surface. Before 2022, it had erupted significantly only once, around the year 1100 AD, roughly once every 1,000 years. On January 14, 2022, the day before, a smaller eruption occurred. Scientists observed it, issued an advisory, and concluded it was minor activity. No evacuation orders were issued. No one moved to higher ground. 14 hours later, the volcano erupted again. This time, there was nothing minor about it. On January 15th, the volcano exploded in a sequence of 4 massive underwater detonations. The eruption column reached 58 kilometers into the atmosphere, the highest ever recorded by modern instruments, nearly 2/3 of the way to space. The ash cloud blocked out the sun over the capital, Nuku'alofa. At its peak, the electrically charged ash cloud generated over 200,000 lightning strikes per hour, accounting for nearly 80% of all lightning on Earth at that moment. It lasted 11 hours. It was the largest eruption since Pinatubo in 1991. The blast wave hit Tonga's main island in 10 minutes. A tsunami followed. Walls of water 15 meters high swept across the western coast of Tonga Tapu. All 7 beach resorts on the northwestern tip of the island were destroyed. On the island of Mango, every single home was gone. The eruption severed Tonga's undersea telecommunications cable. For nearly 48 hours, the country was cut off from the outside world entirely. Then something happened that scientists had never seen at this scale before. The atmospheric shockwave moved outward at 700 miles per hour, and as it crossed the Pacific, it physically pushed the ocean ahead of it. Tsunamis arrived in Japan, Chile, California, and Alaska. Not because of water movement beneath the surface, but because the atmosphere itself forced the ocean to move. 2 people drowned in Peru, 10,000 kilometers from the eruption. The pressure wave was so powerful, it generated tsunamis in the Caribbean, an ocean with no physical connection to the Pacific. Early warning systems had never been designed for this. They were built for earthquakes, not for a volcano that could move the ocean with air. Tonga sits on top of one of the most active tectonic systems on Earth. The Tonga Trench, nearly 11 kilometers deep and the second deepest oceanic trench on Earth after the Mariana Trench, is where the Pacific Plate is forced beneath the Australian Plate, and it moves fast, up to 90 millimeters per year. That may not sound like much, but your fingernails grow about 3 millimeters per month. These plates move at triple that speed. In geological terms, that is extreme. The subduction zone here is so active that Tonga generates more seismic energy per square kilometer than almost anywhere else on the planet. Hundreds of earthquakes every year. Most are too small to feel. Some are not. Every year, pressure builds. Every year, the plate pushes deeper, and eventually, it releases. On March 22, 2026, that pressure began to break. A magnitude 6.2 earthquake struck the northern Tonga region, then another magnitude 6.2, then magnitude 6.3, then magnitude 5.8 the following day. Within 48 hours, 4 significant earthquakes hit the same zone in sequence. When scientists plotted this escalation on a timeline, the progression was striking. This was not random. It was a geological system releasing accumulated stress in measurable, gradual steps, like a spring compressing, then slowly beginning to give way. The region near the Niue's Island group had not seen activity like this in over 6 decades, and the sequence was still building. Then came March 24th. The main shock arrived at 5:30 p.m. local time. It was magnitude 7.6. It was the strongest earthquake recorded anywhere on Earth in 2026. The epicenter was 153 kilometers west of Niuefu, at a depth of 237 kilometers below the ocean floor. Around 21,000 people felt moderate shaking. Another 85,000 reported lighter tremors, enough to rattle buildings, trigger alarms, and send families to evacuation points. The Tonga Broadcasting Commission captured footage that was widely shared. Residents gathered on rooftops, listening to the sirens, waiting for the all clear. Some had lived through January 15th, 2022. They knew what this region was capable of. They had seen the water come. They had seen what happened to the coastal villages, to the resorts, to the island of Mango. So, they waited. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center monitored the situation in real time. Within minutes, they issued their conclusion: no tsunami threat. So, why did this one behave differently, when everything suggested it shouldn't? This earthquake did not occur where scientists feared most. It happened deep, 237 kilometers beneath the surface, inside the descending Pacific plate itself. Interface earthquakes, the dangerous kind, occur where two plates lock together near the surface. When they snap, they vertically displace the ocean floor and send tsunamis across entire basins. That is what happened off Japan in 2011. What happened on March 24th was fundamentally different. Deep inside the plate, far below the zone where seafloor displacement becomes catastrophic, the energy was absorbed before it could reach the surface, which is why 100,000 people felt the ground shake. Evacuations began across an entire island chain, and no wave arrived. When seismologists analyzed the data, one detail stood out. The area near the Niue's island group had not experienced a sequence of comparable intensity in more than 6 decades. On March 25th, 2 more earthquakes bellowed, a magnitude 5.6, then a magnitude 5.2, 7 minutes apart. The system was still releasing, and after any earthquake above magnitude 7, there is a documented probability that a subsequent event of comparable or greater magnitude could follow in the weeks ahead. Scientists know this. The instruments are running. The Pacific plate will keep converging at 90 millimeters per year. And the Tonga volcano, which erupted in 2022 with a force that moved the ocean through the air, that sent shockwaves around the planet twice, that drowned people in Peru from 10,000 kilometers away, sits in this same system. On January 14, 2022, scientists observed a minor eruption and concluded it was not serious. 14 hours later, the largest eruption in decades began. It erupts roughly once every 1,000 years. 2022 was the last. 1100 AD was the one before. The Tonga Trench is still there. The Pacific plate is still moving. The same forces that produced the largest atmospheric explosion ever recorded by modern instruments are still active beneath the ocean floor. The ground just moved again. A magnitude 7.6, the biggest earthquake of 2026. And the system that surprised the world once before has not finished. If this opened your eyes, you will also like to watch this video.